bayhandymanservices.com.
Hi, I'm Kevin Shady with KHS & Associates. We represent private insurance providers using multiple nationwide PPO networks for pre-negotiated discounted rates and no co-pays, no co-insurance, and no deductibles. If you're interested in a quote, give us a call or text 502-386-1128 and provide us your zip code and the ages and gender of those to include. Call or text us at 502-386-1128. That's 502-386-1128.
Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, this is Tim.
Do y'all sell bait?
Yes, we seasonally stock live shrimp, live bull minnows, live sand fleas, live fiddler crabs, earthworms, night crawlers, crickets. We also stock frozen shrimp, sand fleas, mullet, squid, pre-rigged ballyhoo, bonita, stingray, cigar minnows, Boston mackerel, Spanish mackerel, and a few other miscellaneous baits. It's worth the drive to buy premium locally sourced bait from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
With a new face at first and some of the best arms in the National League, this 2022 Braves team is loaded up for another run at the crown.
Swung on, lifted high and deep to right field, headed for the chop house, heads up out there, gone, home run!
Tonight, it's another big National League showdown from Coors Field in Denver as Matt Olson and the Braves take on Chris Bryant and the Colorado Rockies.
Coverage starts at 6:25, first pitch 7:40 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Real Fishing Report. It's expert insider information from Tim at Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle.
Moderate seas forecast this weekend, making it tolerable to go fishing for red snapper on a federally permitted charter boat. On the recreational side, it's time to get your grouper on and pull one of the few off the bottom. Inshore fishing will be best around bridges and docks. The Real Local Fishing Report, exclusively on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana, Powered FC, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Transmission starts in 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting from the Rib Crib Radio Room. The Afternoon Underdogs are taking your calls live. 850-215-6290. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We go. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Thank you guys for listening. I'm David Hayes along with Adam Goff, AG. We've also got Caveman Rick on the cameras today. We're the Afternoon Underdogs. You can also listen to us in Mariana on 102.1 FM. If you're in the Pensacola, Mobile, Fort Walton area, we're on Blab TV over there. If you don't have Blab TV with your TV service provider, then on your Roku, Fire Stick, whichever apparatus device that you use, you can get their channel or app, BLAB TV. And make sure you get that. They have amazing content on there. Also, right here with our 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida Big Billboard Prize Pack, it's the last day to enter. Not the last week to enter anymore. It is the last day, and we're celebrating these big billboards all over Bay County with a supersized prize pack. All you got to do, take a picture of one of the big billboards. There's 3 of them out there. You post it on Facebook, tag ESPN Northwest Florida in the photo, and we're going to be selecting a winner at random. They're going to win a huge prize pack. And you can also find out what else that we've stuffed inside this big old prize pack on our Facebook page at ESPN Northwest Florida or ESPNPC.com. Man, Braves got a big win last night over the Colorado Rockies. Hopefully that offense can continue to sizzle tonight in Game 2 of that series.
Easier to do out there.
It is a lot easier to do. But you know what's crazy about it? Outside of Travis d'Arnaud, who hit a grand slam, a 2-run homer, and got it going with the first run of the game, they were kind of hitting the ball on the ground or,
manufacturing
runs rather than doing it how they've been doing it for a while now. Just the long ball is the way to go. We've got a couple of issues to deal with here today. First, a big happy birthday.
Yeah, I got happy birthday to my sister Lisa and my niece Lily. So happy birthday, girls. Love y'all, and hope to see you guys soon.
Sweet.
Now, in the next issue here, I just got a text from Raider Dennis, and I don't want to put out too much information that he's not okay with sharing. But the same way with Leanne and others that we've had with ailments in the past, thoughts and prayers with them, not just on Facebook saying thoughts and prayers and all that stuff. Actually shoot some thoughts up. Actually shoot some prayers up. My man is dealing with some serious issues right now. So if you guys would shoot out a prayer, man, you guys, if you're listening right now, you mean a lot to me. You let me into your car every day or into your house or whichever way. And I'm much more, I don't want to say I'm more appreciative of you guys than you are me. I don't want to put it that way at all. But I appreciate the tar out of you guys. I mean, really, we don't have this Afternoon Underdog show happening without the listeners. It does not happen. So big shout out to all of you guys. Big shout out to Raider Dennis, and a big shout out to Professor Plum, who yesterday brought me in a nice old Paul Bear Bryant bottle that he's letting me take home with me. So
we won't say who makes it.
We won't. Oh, no. This is a Buffalo Rock facility, man. So let's get into it. We're definitely talking about the NBA, the NHL playoffs. I've got RJ Starcevich, who runs a podcast on Instagram dealing with mainly the Xfinity Series, but we'll get caught up with NASCAR and the Xfinity Series and what he thought of last weekend's races. At 5:15, Chandler Permenter is on with us. He covers Ole Miss and Southern Miss for 247 College World Series on Twitter. If you're not following them, make sure that you are, because we've got a lot of baseball to get into, a lot of regionals. Softball last night was just a ton of fun, and then the NBA Finals was a ping pong match. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it was just like one team had control for every quarter. So a lot of fun. Can't wait to get into some of the thoughts that AG is bringing us today. We've got a Phillies fan in the building. Joe Girardi has been fired as the Philadelphia Phillies manager after just a 22. Could you imagine if the Braves fired Snit after his start? But 22-29, a lot of money spit into the roster. Tell me how you're feeling today with the news of Joe Girardi no longer the Phillies manager.
Well, I'm kind of shocked, actually. I mean, you were just talking about how the Braves started out, and the Phillies only 7 games under 500 right now. Last year, Braves, Phillies, very similar all year long. We're hovering right around that 500 mark. You guys make it into the playoffs. Look what happens. World Series win. If they would have kept the status quo, who knows? Maybe we stay around that 500 level. Making the playoffs might be a little bit more difficult based off of the way the wild card's set up and the other teams in the league, especially out west, eating up a lot of those spots. But who knows? We could have maybe made it in, and I got hot at the right time with those bats, and maybe could have turned it into something. But hopefully they got a plan. I'm hoping that this didn't do this like as a quick knee-jerk reaction, if you will, and then pick some wrong person for the job, and then we're right back to square one in a couple seasons.
I think the biggest thing is the money that was spent in the offseason to bring in those big bats, right? Schwarber, Castellanos, and, tacking that onto what they had previously, last year, which was a good roster.
Yeah.
And then you add those two guys, and so now you've got an outfield that consists of Harper, who obviously has been hurt. He's been DHing a lot. And then Castellanos and
At least
Schwarber.
there is that, though, now in the National League that you can almost...
Because if we didn't have the DH, then you'd be paying him all this money for nothing.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So now you've got that outfield, right? And then, Segura's there. Of course, he just went down.
He's gotten down for a
Right, he just went down. But
Big dog Roman Quinn.
You've got Wheeler,
Nick
Nola.
Nelson.
So it's a good
Nick
roster
Nelson as well, yeah.
It's a good roster. And I think ownership probably felt a little bit of pressure after spending all that money on those bats and said, you know what, we need a scapegoat, and Girardi, you're it.
Well, you have to. It's easier to get rid of the coach than get rid of those players when you're paying them that kind of money and you got them signed to those kind of deals.
I understand that sentiment. I just don't understand it happening before the All-Star break. Like, all it takes is one flip to switch, or one switch to flip. I do that all the time. One little moment, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now the team is on fire. You just cannot sit here and tell me, as if you've been a fan of the NL East, of any team in the NL East, you cannot sit here and tell me that the Mets got it figured out and it's over and done with. I don't care if they're 9.5.
How many years have we seen it?
Exactly. How many times have the Braves been? What was it? It was a long time ago. I would say maybe even close to a decade ago. But the Braves had like a 12.5, maybe bigger than that lead going into September, the month of September, and
folded.
Phillies
washed
threw
it
away
away.
a 9.
I was going to say something else, but you know what I'm saying? And
That's
just
why I interjected.
Yeah, thank you very much for the interjection there. But yeah, exactly. So it's like, I mean, I get it. The guy didn't work out necessarily in New York, but you look at Gabe Kapler. You guys got rid of him, right?
Yeah.
Now what's he doing over there in San Francisco that maybe he ought not be doing? And what I mean by that
With
is
that roster and the
that's
age
what I'm
of that
saying.
roster.
Exactly.
Yeah, good points. I don't know what they're going to do. Like I said, I hope they got a plan. And that's all
So
I can think
yeah,
of.
I mean that. Hopefully they do have a plan because you do. I don't root for the Phillies in any type of capacity, but I do root for those guys on the team, especially when we're talking about local guys like Roman Quinn, Nick Nelson. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to have that head guy at least till after. I just don't get it happening before the All-Star break.
Are we going to see a Kyrie Irving kind of thing here where the players are going to run the team?
I don't think so.
Who would be the guy over? I mean,
don't
is it
know.
Bryce Harper? I don't think that baseball players are like that because they're a little bit more. First off, there's so many more pieces in a baseball roster than there is a basketball
Less pieces
roster.
to move now with the DH in the NL, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great
Another
fact,
good
but
point.
I'm saying if you're an offensive-minded player, if you're Bryce Harper, how are you going to run the bullpen? How are you going to, you know what I mean? Like that's a daunting
Well,
task for
How
anybody.
are you going to run the bullpen? We don't have really a bullpen. That's part of a problem.
That is true.
Right.
That's true too. So
Can't
why
close
not
out
get to the
games.
trade deadline, assess your problem, solve the problem at bullpen, which is your biggest problem, and then
definitely.
see what's happening with Girardi.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a better idea. But like I said, who knows? I think this is just more like a knee-jerk reaction. I think the media, the fans in Philly, they're probably fed up thinking all this money we spent. They want answers. They want wins, and this is just appeasement.
Easy trivia question today. Who is the defending national champion of the College World Series? The regionals just started today for the College World Series. It's very easy. You're going to win a $25 gift card to Rib Crib, 12-pack of Pepsi provided by Buffalo Rock. Doesn't have to be Pepsi, whatever we've got here in stock. And also a Pepsi swag bag. And the swag that Buffalo Rock has provided us with lately is top-notch, man. It really is. We got T-shirts. We got hats. We've got beach balls that say Pepsi on it. A lot of great stuff. All you got to do is call right now, 850-215-6290. Who is the defending national champion of the College World Series? AG, we were talking earlier about Deshaun Watson. I don't know if we want to use the specific words that Deshaun Watson's lawyer used or attorney used, but now he's up to 23 cases. Real quick, he tried to settle back in October for $100,000 per case. At the time, it was only 22. And the way to make this happen was each lady was supposed to sign an NDA. If all 22 ladies would have signed an NDA, he would have been traded to the Miami Dolphins in October. He would be a Miami Dolphin today. Only 18 of the 22 girls accepted this. And so because 4 girls did not do this, it negated the deal. Now, this situation, especially now with the 23rd case, this is starting to become a little bit of a monster. Now, here's my take on it. I don't know the length that I don't know the length that Deshaun Watson should be suspended for if he gets suspended. If I was the league, I look at MLB, I see what they did with Trevor Bauer. Now, maybe that's because Trevor Bauer was making issues with the league. But if I'm Roger Goodell, I tell our officer who's handling this case, look at them. They just manipulated his contract that he only got $1 million with the thought that he would be suspended the first year. And then he's going to get $229 million guaranteed. $230 guaranteed, but if you get suspended, you're going to lose $1 million off that. I would suspend him. I would ban him for 2 years.
Like I said the other day when we were talking outside, that was a very Belichickian move by doing that contract the way they did. That's something that you would think Bill Belichick would do.
We got someone
caller
on the
on
line.
line 1.
Let's go. Who we got on the air with us? You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs.
It's Buckeye Don.
Buckeye Don, what is going on, my man? I know you know the answer to this one. Who is the defending national champion of the College World Series?
I do believe it is Oklahoma.
Oh, I'm not talking. Oh, I'm talking college baseball. Thanks so much for the call.
All right, man. Have a good one, guys.
All right, 850-215-6290. That's kind of my fault because I should have specified over here to line 2. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. Who's on the air with us?
Hey, Dave. This is Kit Hint.
Say that one more time.
This is Kit Hint. I'm Caleb's dad.
Oh, yeah. What's going on?
Not much, man. We just wanted to weigh in on the trivia question.
Yeah, so who you got? Who's the defending national champion of the College World Series?
Is that Mississippi State?
You're absolutely right. Just got a $25 gift card to Rib Crib, a 12-pack of Pepsi, and a Pepsi swag bag. Hey, do me a favor and text over to 850-215-6290, same number that you called, so we can get this all squared away.
We'll do it, man. Go Gators.
Go Gators.
Too bad we don't have a cowbell in here to ring.
No doubt about that, man. Hey, thank you guys for participating today. Big win there. $25 to Rib Crib, a 12-pack of Buffalo Rock, whatever we've got in stock, and a Pepsi swag bag. And I'm going to make sure to beef that thing up for my guys. I love that stuff there. Now, me and AG were talking earlier about where do you draw the line? Well, now that he's done with the phone calls, do we let AG get back onto his thoughts with the Deshaun Watson case?
It's his attorney coming out today and saying what he said. I'm not going to repeat it because I don't want to get a fine. Sorry,
right.
Randy. But his attorney coming out and ending that press conference that way and saying what he said is not in the best interest of his client. I mean,
at all.
Whether you want to argue semantics of or legality or illegality, the fact that was admitted to in a public forum is absolutely atrocious in the public eye.
I'm not surprised, though. I mean, that's Rusty Harding guy. This isn't the first time we've seen him. And a few other times when he's represented some people for doing some dumb things, he hasn't been the most, I would say, like clean cut or like most reputable type person, you know? Like one of those lawyers, like, it's not about what my client did, it's what you can prove my client did. So basically you're saying your client's guilty then.
Oh, man. I mean, again, I don't think it's an admission of guilt because there's semantics that are in there that we don't know exactly what the arrangement, quote unquote arrangement was with some of these masseuses. But good night, Gracie. Wow. What an admission.
So Chicken Wing Paul says you can only ban what the CBA says you can.
Mm-hmm.
Well, code of conduct is what they're going to be looking at.
Right, commissioner's exempt list. Right.
And so
contract detrimental.
If nothing is found to be done wrong, I have no problem with it. I'm not sitting here trying to say we should ban Deshaun Watson. What I'm saying is I do not like the tactic of it seems like you're guilty right there when you make your first year so you are, in a sense,
there's anticipatory behavior
your agent exactly. Either your agent is, really, really smart and planning ahead, or you're like, talking with the agent and being like, well, if we can finagle it, if we can manipulate it to go this direction, I'm not going to lose as much money. And that's where my problem lies, is that the way that this thing has all played out, if Deshaun Watson is innocent, I don't want to see a single second of suspension. I don't want to see a single fine. I don't want to see anything if he's not guilty. The problem is, if you are guilty, and we're talking about 23, this ain't 23 and me. This is 23 and Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta take a break. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. I appreciate all of you that are listening right now. We're going to be right back in about 2.5 minutes.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
I don't think that the Denver Broncos are as good as people want them to be. The Chargers, the Chiefs, and the Raiders, in my opinion, are better. I think they're 9, possibly 10-win team potentially, but I think they're 8-9. They probably won't get there. They think this is Peyton Manning. This ain't the same.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings 5 to 7 on 102.1 and 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Weather forecast for this afternoon: spotty showers and thunderstorms, a blend of sun and clouds, 85 to 90. Southwest wind at 10. Water temperature in the Gulf is 83. Showers and thunderstorms overnight, partly cloudy skies on the low 70s. Mostly sunny this weekend, highs in the mid to upper 80s. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Hi, I'm Kevin Shady with KHS & Associates. We represent private insurance providers using multiple nationwide PPO networks for pre-negotiated discounted rates and no copays, no co-insurance, and no deductibles. If you're interested in a quote, give us a call or text 502-386-1128 and provide us your zip code and the ages and gender of those to include. Call or text us at 502-386-1128. That's 502-386-1128.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
Now back to the most dangerous afternoon show on terrestrial radio.
Danger's my middle name.
It's illegal in 5 states. The Afternoon Underdogs, inside the Rib Crib Radio Room. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Back inside the Rib Crib Radio Room, you're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes. We've got Caveman Rick, Adam Goff in the building with us, and you need to do a couple of things. You need to get out, drive around, find one of the big ESPN Northwest Florida big billboards. You take a picture of it. You post it on Facebook. You tag ESPN Northwest Florida in the photo. We'll be selecting a winner at random. Also, you got to get to Bay Handyman Services if you need anything done to your house. They listen better. They also plan better. And guess what? They build better. You can reach them at 850-753-5014. They have 24/7 emergency services. You can reach them on their website, bayhandymanservices.com. They hold a 5-star rating, anything from hanging pictures to full house remodels. And also, Ryan Phillips will be out there with the Tonka Truck Racing Team tomorrow at Tri-State Off-Road Park tomorrow for the races. They're going to be trying to beat their 3.6-second run. They've got, a lot of money goes into these vehicles. Gates open up at 4 p.m. tomorrow at the Tri-State Off-Road Park. Y'all go check out the Tonka Truck, man. It's going to be a load of fun. Let's get into these NBA Finals, y'all. So what a game last night. AG, you're a big Celtics fan. Tell me what you saw from your guys last night. And just from the game, you recap the game for us.
First quarter, trying to figure it out, right? Never been in there before.
At least those guys.
Right, that group, right? I mean, and Ime, right? Ime Udoka, never been there first year. So on the road, hostile environment, trying to figure it out. Second quarter, they seemed to settle down quite a bit. Made a nice run there in the second quarter to take the lead there into halftime.
Mm-hmm.
Third quarter came out struggling a little bit. Looks like Steve Curry made some adjustments. And then fourth quarter came. Celtics are down 12. Wham, right? I mean, just absolutely on fire. So I don't know what Udoka said to them going into the fourth quarter, but say it every sinking quarter, man, because holy crap. I mean, Al Horford coming out looking like he's still in Gainesville and Billy Donovan's his coach. Just unreal to see that dude do what he did in the fourth quarter. And then Jaylen Brown picked it up from there. Everybody's bagging on, Tatum with his 2 for 17 performance, but he had 13 assists as well. So, again, it's a figuring out process. This team doesn't quit. They got a lot of fight in them, and it was awesome to watch that fourth quarter. What a fun 12 minutes there.
And also Derek White off the bench with 21.
Oh, man, 5 threes.
Yeah.
Big.
And not just that, the story behind him is kind of cool. It seems like all of the guys on your team, you know what I mean? Not only are they homegrown there with Boston from college to the NBA, but this was a guy who didn't even have any D1 scholarships in Derek White. You know what I mean? Ends up going the JUCO route, and then ends up at Colorado for a year, and then to the NBA, and now here he is with the Celtics fighting for an NBA championship. But Boston hit the first 7 3-pointers in the fourth quarter. They outscored Golden State 40-16 in the fourth quarter, which is literally the most important quarter of the game, right?
100%.
Going into the fourth quarter, I was like, is Boston even going to crack 100? That's what I was thinking. Literally, going into the fourth quarter, I was thinking, will they even crack 100? It almost ended up being, will the Warriors crack 100?
Yeah,
You know
absolutely.
what I mean? What a game. So, Caveman Rick, what'd you think about? What'd you take away from the game last night? Because I've got a question that we've got to get to AG.
I was just very surprised, to be honest with you. Like you were saying, I really expected the Warriors to come out and, have a better game. Like Adam said, it was kind of, I don't say wishy-washy, but it's just a game of like 4 different quarters, and everything worked out a little differently per quarter. All the threes that the Celtics got was a little surprising.
I don't think that should be surprising.
No.
I don't think it should be
Well, I mean, you would have thought the Warriors would have been the team doing all that.
I think that's where the surprise
not the Celtics, you know what I'm saying? It was like Jekyll and Hyde thing, but they just were playing each other's game, it seemed like, So
Boston's been doing that all playoff, though. They really have.
And it's been a different guy every time.
I think
that's what's impressive.
They've been just doing what they've had to do against each opponent, like playing a different game. It doesn't matter what type of game they're having to play. They're playing the way they need to match up against, whether it's Miami or whoever else that they're playing. So, and it's working for them.
It's working.
Yeah.
I really thought that
Don't
we were
change
going to
it.
see a not necessarily a blowout, but a a win by the Warriors that everyone would.
The game wasn't in doubt,
right? And I thought that you were going to have the Warriors win decently enough that everyone would come in. All right, the series is over. The Warriors are going to sweep them. Now instead, you've got everybody, and I'm not hearing a whole lot of Boston's going to sweep them, but a lot of people have. Oh, Boston in 5. Boston in 6 now. And it's like, of course, because we're playing this overreactionary basketball. And that's what has sucked. Let's just be honest. That's what sucked about the NBA playoffs. Yeah, we've had some like game 7s and stuff, but pretty much every individual game, there's been a few games in these playoffs outside of the first round that have really been competitive games. We've had competitive series.
And you've seen blowouts on, the opposing team's home court.
Yeah.
That's what's been weird about this playoffs. In both the Western Conference and Eastern Conference.
Both sides. And for Boston, they became the first team last night in NBA Finals history to win by double digits after going into the fourth quarter down by double digits.
And
so insane.
For Celtics, I think it helped them playing that deep series with Miami and them only having a short while off where they didn't get a bunch of rest or get complacent. It's just kind of business as usual.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're going to save the Steph Curry topic for maybe defend your stance, right?
Fine.
Because we've only got 5 minutes here. Did the Celtics steal this game? And we'll end it off with you here, AG. Caveman, did the Celtics steal this game?
Oh, yeah, when you're down by double digits and then in the fourth quarter and then to come back at the end and you win by double digits, heck yeah, you stole that game.
Instead of me going next, because I disagree, right? And I know you're going to be disagreeing here, but let's find out. AG, did the Celtics steal this game?
The way the game played out, yes. Right?
Okay.
So the way the game played out, yes.
Because of the third quarter,
because of the deficit, right?
Okay.
But if you would have said going into the game, not knowing what happened, right? Not knowing what was going to happen in the game, if the Celtics win game 1, is it a steal? Yes, it's absolutely a steal. Knowing what happened inside the game, knowing the resilience and the toughness of this group, I don't think it was a steal from that regard. It was impressive coming back down, from 12 points, but and then winning by 12. But at the same time, like, that's what this team has done, since they were 20 and 21 earlier in the season.
Mm-hmm.
So they've shown the ability to just hang around and then get hot at the right time. But like I said, going into the game, yes, it's a steal because that's what, you're not expected to win game 1 on the road in the NBA Finals.
Okay, I'll give you that. I think that so many people outside of real legit Celtics fans or Celtic bandwagon fans, if there is, I'm sure that there is some of those, but not a huge amount, right? those guys, just from what I've seen from Boston this year, everybody was counting them out against the Golden State Warriors, like completely counting them out. I left my bet up to a coin flip, literally. I was like, Dalton, whichever team you want, I'll take the opposite of. And he took Boston. If he would have took Golden State, I would have been happy as all get out with Boston as well. I think people are really undermining the capabilities of what Boston has done this year and what they're doing in these playoffs. And I know Golden State has looked so good to this point, but how many people said at the beginning of these playoffs, the champion more than likely is coming out of the East?
Yeah, that was
it's a tougher conference.
It was a tougher conference for the first time in a long time.
But then you also saw how bad the Lakers were doing.
Yeah,
everybody thought they were going to be some
Clippers are hurt.
Right. Yeah, Clippers are hurt.
Yeah.
We saw what was going on with Phoenix not being able to get over the hump again. Because of injuries and just everything else. Dallas, they're just kind of an enigma.
Right, and so you're sitting there naming almost every playoff team. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm getting at why are we? And I don't think any of us are surprised in here about that game last night. But why is the majority of basketball fans surprised at that game last night? Outside of, I get the craziness of the fourth quarter, but I think that people are legitimately surprised that the Celtics are hanging with the Warriors.
I think it has to do with the fact that people still don't want to classify this Celtics team as a great team.
Okay.
And because every great team in NBA history has had that one superstar.
Yeah.
Right? Jason Tatum's not there yet. He's what, 22?
He's 23? On the precipice, but if he
not
wins
there
this year, then
Jaylen Brown has shown flashes, but he's not there yet.
True.
Right? And then you've got Horford, the old grizzled veteran that's never been here before. So there's a lot of understandable doubt because you've got Steph, which, again, we'll get into later as far as his greatness and where he stands.
His greatness. Y'all hear that? His greatness.
And then, Klay Thompson and what he's been able to do. Draymond Green has been a phenomenal NBA player. So, and they've been there how many times? 4, 5? This is their 5th time?
I think this is their 6th time because I think they went 5 times in a row.
Right, so 6 times. So they've been there, done that. So this Celtics team, it didn't get its just due because they weren't supposed to be there in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, that's such a great point. But, I mean, if it was we got to get to a break. So what do you got, K-Man?
I was just going to say real quick, not my reason for it, but I think a lot of people just don't want to admit that Golden State maybe would have choked that game away. So, of course, you're going to look at it from the other side and say the Celtics stole that game.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Well, great game it was last night, no doubt about it. Can't wait for Game 2. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll be talking with RJ Starcevich. You don't want to miss that.
Hey, Braves fans. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has your chance to win weekly prizes from Slim Chicken, Rudy's Barbecue, That Boot Store, Guthrie's, and Rib Crib with Atlanta Braves Trivia. Step 1, open the ESPN Northwest Florida app and click Braves Trivia. Step 2, answer trivia about a recent game. Step 3, score some tasty prizes and come home a hero. The Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. Listen live on 104.3 in the ESPN Northwest Florida app.
At Slim Chickens, craft means something. Craft means bacon. And oh, so crispy. Craft means a good cayenne kick. And all-natural buttermilk marinated, made fresh, perfectly fried chicken. All served on toasted brioche buns. At Slim Chickens, craft means quality. And for a limited time, try our new Memphis-style barbecue chicken sandwich. Try Slim's Craft Sandwiches today. Slim Chickens.
Ben and Deb Collins, owners of Bay Guns and Gear, have been in business since 2010, offering new firearms and accessories with a huge selection available for your hunting needs and personal defense. Turn to Bay Guns and Gear. They have the weapon for you. Discount pricing. And if you can't find what you're looking for, they'll special order it for you. Bay Guns and Gear, across from Grease Pro at 3115 Highway 77. Visit their website, baygunsandgear.com.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida are proud members of the Panama City Beach Chamber. We'd like to welcome the newest members to the Beach Chamber.
Coca-Cola United, Dixie Electric Car, Express Oil Change and Tire Engineers, Garbage Genie, Goldenrod Fishing Charters, and Senior Frogs.
Congratulations from the area's only sports radio station, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
dishes too. I'm in love with a man named Rudy, last name Barbecue. It sure is easy to fall in love with Rudy's tasty oak smoked barbecue.
Next in line.
Live from the Rib Crib Studio. We are live and local. From Camp Helen State Park to the historic Martin Theater.
Definitely time to let our hair down and have some fun.
It's the Afternoon Underdogs. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back, man. Y'all get out there on the streets right now. Look for the big billboards here in Bay County, and then take a picture of it, post it on Facebook, tag ESPN Northwest Florida in that photo, and we're going to be selecting a winner here at random. You're going to be winning a jumbo-sized prize pack. Now, let's get on over to the phone line. We've got RJ Starcevich on the line with us. He's the owner and founder of the NASCAR Report on Instagram, and also the host of the Drivers Meeting podcast. RJ, how's your Friday going?
It's going pretty good. How about you?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. Ready to get home, watch a little bit of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and see what other sports we can get into. But lots of good racing last weekend. Of the three big races, the Indy 500, the Coke 600, and the F1 race at Monaco, which did you enjoy the most?
Yeah, they call it the greatest day in motorsports. Three of the basically biggest races of the year happening all on one day, crazily. But, a little bit biased. I did get to go to the Coke 600. I did get to be in attendance for that race and be on, the garage area pit road for it. But I feel like definitely looking at the fan feedback, I feel like the Coke 600 was my personal favorite race. I felt like it had, everything. It was a very, very long race. And usually with these long races, a lot of NASCAR fans start, complaining that it's too long or get bored. But a lot of NASCAR fans, they were tied into this race. It was very eventful. So many things happened, especially at the end. We had cars flipping like 4 hours into the race. So, personally, I would say I enjoyed the Coke 600 the most this weekend.
I've got some other questions to kind of tie into that, but since you brought up the flip, Zane Smith, who is a Truck Series driver, is going to be filling in for Chris Buescher. How will he fare filling in for the number 17?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's his first Cup Series start, and, as most of you know, the Cup Series has got a new car this year, and it's a lot different than any other car or truck that's being run in the series. So Zane Smith's currently in the Truck Series right now. On the positive side, he is actually running the truck race this weekend at the same track, so he'll get to race at Gateway, and he's actually practicing right now. I'm not sure where he is on the leaderboards, but it's definitely going to be tough for him to get used to it, really, especially on this short notice. I'm sure he's had about 24 hours to prepare so far until this weekend. So it's going to be interesting, but he's a really talented driver, and I think he'll fare pretty well in the race.
All right, right on. Good answer, RJ. Cape Enrique, good to talk to you today. What are your thoughts on Jimmy Johnson's run at the Indy 500?
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson, I knew going into the race it was probably, qualifying all week. They were pretty fast. I knew it would probably be tough for him to make the moves and get up through the field, running an Indy car compared to a NASCAR. Obviously, he's getting used to a lot of things still, but he kept it clean majority of the race and, they took a strategy call where he was able to lead a lap towards the end. And I think just with 5 or 6 to go, finally they spun out and ended their day. But before that, we were all sitting there watching the race, just talking about how impressive it is at all just to finish the Indy 500. He was running top 20 a lot of the day. I'd say definitely an impressive race, to say the least. I'm sure he'll be back next year to run it again, and I'm sure he'll be a lot better and more experienced.
All right, RJ, what's on tap for the Xfinity Series this weekend, and who do you think takes the checkered flag?
So, the Cup Series and Truck Series are in St. Louis right now at Gateway. The Xfinity Series is over in Portland at a road course, Portland International Raceway, for the first time. So a lot of road course drivers are coming out to run that race. It's going to be really interesting. First time going to a track. This morning they had practice while it was raining, so not ideal. A lot of cars ended up torn up in that practice session due to the conditions and just being a new track, not the greatest combination. But I think it'll definitely be a wild race to watch tomorrow on FS1, and I think I'll go with old reliable to take the checkered flag, A.J. Allmendinger.
I love it, man. So what goes into kind of learning a new track. How long does it take to kind of get the feel, especially when it's a road course? Does that make it any different? About how long does it take for a driver to get comfortable on a new track?
Well, yeah, we were talking about this a lot this week about, nowadays people have a lot of sim racing. You get in the sim, the virtual simulator, where, say 20, 30 years ago, you couldn't do that. All you had were notes and asking people who had run at the racetrack and just kind of winging it to see how it would go. But now you can use, virtual simulators and sim time, and there's so many different ways to be able to get practice at these racetracks. So, Xfinity Series going to Portland for the first time. I'm sure a lot of drivers have gotten simulation time to see, just where the general breaking points are. It's not going to help you 100% in the race, but it can just help you get an idea of how the corners are, in the same way for the Cup Series who's going to Gateway this weekend. So it's definitely changed over time, the way drivers can prepare for races, but it's still definitely a really tough challenge.
We're talking with RJ Starcevich, owner and founder of the NASCAR Report on Instagram. If you're not following him on Instagram, make sure you do that now. That's RJ Starcevich. Starcevich is spelled Starcevich. Hey, RJ, why is it that the Xfinity guys are not at St. Louis this weekend?
I guess just in the schedule, they were trying out the Cup Series, just sent, because initially I thought they'd sent all three of the series to Gateway this weekend. They made a lot of renovations to the track, and I thought that would kind of figure for a three-series weekend, but it looks like they've just sent the Cup Series, and the Xfinity Series was really excited about trying out Portland International Raceway this weekend. It's a long trip for the teams, but hopefully we can get some, good results out of that race. Hopefully it's a good race tomorrow, a good show. The fans will enjoy it. And we'll see. But, yeah, that's kind of the overall idea. Definitely, I was confused a little bit, too. I figured the Xfinity Series could be here in St. Louis. They did used to go there in the past with the Truck Series, and now the Cup Series is there, and they're not. So it's definitely odd, but I think NASCAR is definitely excited about sending the Xfinity Series to Portland. But I definitely wouldn't rule it out next year, the Xfinity Series come to St. Louis. I wouldn't rule that out.
Right on. And in that Xfinity Series, RJ, which drivers are the best at the road courses?
One of the guys that I mentioned earlier, A.J. Allmendinger, for sure is the guy everybody looks at as the top dog when it comes to the Xfinity Series at road courses, or just road courses in general. He's really good at stock cars. And then you have a lot of the guys that are just coming into the race, just running road courses, like Andy Lally. He's racing for Alpha Prime Racing. He's, historically run so many races, in sports cars and NASCARs. There's a guy, Spencer Pumpelly. He's racing this weekend. He's got a lot of history running road courses. But, you can't count out some of the Xfinity regulars, too. Justin Allgaier, he's had some good experience at road courses, gotten a few wins as well. Noah Gragson, although he wrecked earlier, he's a guy to never count out. So the road courses, especially in NASCAR, are always just so unpredictable because so many things can happen, and you have stages as well, and we might even have rain. So it's so unpredictable, but definitely the guys to watch out for.
All right. Who are some guys at the Xfinity level that are poised to be in a Cup car next season?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm looking at some of the guys that are running a few Cup races this season, not full-time, but just a few. Daniel Hamrick, he's the defending series champion. He's running a partial schedule with Colleague Racing this year in the Cup Series to get some experience. So he's also running the Cup Series before and went to the Xfinity Series to get some more work in, won a championship, and now gets an opportunity to run part-time in the Cup Series. I think he could definitely get promoted full-time sometime soon. Noah Gragson is in that same boat as well, running a select amount of Cup Series races this season. So those two drivers right there are young guys that I definitely think in time or in 2023 would be the two most likely to get sent up.
So, RJ, tell us a little bit about the track at St. Louis and give us three drivers who are ready to win the Gateway.
Yeah, it's definitely a very odd track, very dynamic track. Turns 1 and 2 are very tight, a lot shorter of a corner. Got to use a lot more braking, to whereas turn 3 and 4, you can kind of coast it a little bit. Definitely a much wider turn, longer turn. So it's kind of a lopsided racetrack, but it can produce some really cool racing. So as far as some drivers I'd look for are the drivers with experience at Gateway in the past, whether it was in the Xfinity Series years ago or the Truck Series. I'd be looking at Kyle Busch as one of them for sure. And right now in practice, it looks like the Fords are really, really fast. And Joey Logano's a guy that's raced here before, so I'd watch for Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, and maybe look out for Brad Keselowski as well. He's definitely looking for redemption after kind of a disappointing season so far. And this is a track I think he could do it.
We're talking with RJ Starcevich. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. RJ is the host of the Drivers Meeting podcast. RJ, one last one for you before we let you go and get you into the weekend, ready for that race tomorrow in Portland. One of my buddies wanted me to ask, and I don't really have any background information here. He wanted me to ask if you think that F1 will continue to have the race at Monaco.
Yeah, that's an interesting question there because, it's a race they've done for so long, the prestige and everything about it. Very prestigious event, but, the racing isn't always the greatest for the fans and even for the drivers. Very hard track to pass. Personally, I think that I don't think they'll do away with it, and I think they'll keep it on the schedule just because of how big an event it is, especially in the city there. But will they maybe make some changes to it? Who knows? They could make some changes to the racetrack. They could make some changes to just F1 rules packaging in general. There's changes they can make, but I think the Monaco, Grand Prix, I think is definitely here to stay.
RJ, thank you so much for your time today, man. You enjoy the weekend, enjoy the Xfinity race, the NASCAR race, and whatever motorsports you're watching. We appreciate your time, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the weekend.
Absolutely, man. RJ Starcevich, if you're not following him on Instagram, he's the owner and founder of the NASCAR Report on Instagram, also host of the Drivers Meeting podcast. Great content there. The Atlanta Braves coverage starts tonight at 6:25, first pitch at 7:40 in Colorado again tonight. Max Fried is on the hill, record of 5-2, ERA 3.10. Chad Kuhl on the bump for the Rockies, who's 4-2 with the ERA at 3.56. Could be a little bit closer than what we imagined. The over-under, though, set at 11 runs tonight.
Coors Field,
absolutely. And we're going to be right back. Y'all stick with us. Coming up, defend your stance.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This is Braves country.
This one's going supersonic.
Tonight, it's the Atlanta Braves versus the Colorado Rockies. The Braves send ace Max Fried to the mound with a 3.10 ERA and a 5-2 record. Coverage starts at 6:25. First pitch at 7:40 on your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. It's 102.1 and 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hi, I'm Tracy, your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Shopping for the perfect diamond can be difficult, but that's why I've trained my staff to be helpful and to offer you a stress-free diamond experience. Pick your sparkle and use our easy layaway plan. Every woman deserves an exquisite diamond from your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We don't work on commissions.
We work for smiles and I-dos.
So if you're tired of high-pressure salespeople, stop by and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts and Deli. Call 763-1627. That boot store reminds you, a special day is coming up for a special guy. Some call him father. Around these parts, it's usually daddy. And when he's around, there's a feeling of safety and security. This Father's Day, that boot store has the perfect Western outfit for that special guy. A gift card works great too. That boot store next to Bill Bird Kia on 15th Street. Open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday. 9 a.m. to 5:30 on Friday and Saturday. Remember Joe's motto, keep your Heavenly Father first in your life every day.
Did you know that fees associated with real estate closings are virtually the same from one title company to the next? So what sets South Oak Title apart? Effective communication, customer service, expertise, and technology. If you're buying or selling real estate, refinancing a residential or commercial property, tell your realtor you want to close with South Oak Title. South Oak Title, with locations across the Southeast, including Panama City Beach, Inlet Beach, Destin, and Fort Walton Beach. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Damsel in Defense presents Defend Your Stance. Got an opinion? Time to defend it. It's the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs, and y'all need to be riding around Bay County right now. It's the last day to enter. We're going to be celebrating our big billboards in Bay County with a super size prize pack, 11 gift cards. Man, we've got some great stuff.
You can't beat it.
You can't beat it. All you got to do. Nice. That was funny. Post it on Facebook. Go take you a picture of the big billboards. You post it on Facebook. You tag our Facebook, ESPN Northwest Florida, in the photo. And then we're going to be selecting a winner at random. This is Defend Your Stances, brought to you by Emerald Coast Damsel, Independent Damsel Pro for Damsel in Defense. 8 a.m. tomorrow, Bay County Fairgrounds. Go check out Michelle Nowalinsky. Great stuff. All of your protective needs right there at the drop of a hat. We pity the fool who doesn't use our tools. Still need to come up with a tagline for that. But, Caveman Rick, tell us a little bit more about what will be happening at the Bay County Fairgrounds tomorrow.
Yeah, just the usual. Lots of vendors set up. We'll have our table and booth set up. All of your ladies' needs for personal protection devices we can handle. We got some new stuff coming out, too, that we might be able to talk to you about. And plenty of, I don't want to say new products. We've had just a wealth of us having an abundance finally. It's been hard to kind of get some stuff for a little while just because of the problems kind of going in the world. And we're just fully stocked. We got plenty of products. So come out and see us so we can get depleted and we can get restocked up.
We're going to do a product focus on Thursday with a Real Fishing Report, and we're going to do a product focus with Rick on Friday.
I'll bring Michelle.
Let's do it.
No, I would love to. Yeah. I love when Michelle comes in and shows off some product. Let's get into this, though, because I've been waiting all day for this, and we're going to literally, and maybe all night for this, right? Since the end of the game.
As soon as the game was over.
As soon as the game was over, my man just goes ham. We're not allowed to repeat what was said in the group chat last night, but my man had some strong feelings. Steph Curry is and I'm gonna give AG the opportunity to go last here. We'll keep ours quick. AG is the top player in the NBA. Steph Curry is a top blank player in the NBA.
If you're asking me, I would have to say he's a top 10 player right now. I mean, just the way, the league looks at him. He's a face of the league. He's marketable. Because of him, the game's changed and revolutionized for good or for bad, depending on how you look at it.
Depending on how you look at it.
Know what I mean? And it's about money. There's a lot of people involved with basketball that may not have been involved because they maybe, weren't tall enough. But he's showing that, you can be of average size. You can go out there, if you practice enough, and you can hit 35, foot-long three-pointers and, make a good career out of it. So because
make sure
of
you
that,
had a dad who was playing in the NBA.
Well, that helps.
Ahead of your time, too.
His dad could fill it up, too. He could shoot.
Exactly.
But we're going to see a lot of kids in the upcoming next, 10, 15, 20 years that don't have a dad like that, or maybe not even really a dad or a father figure at all, and come up like Steph Curry.
Well, I've got Steph in my I would have to have him in my top 5. I would imagine, just because of the revolution.
You're talking right now.
Right, absolutely right now. You go all time, and maybe he's still top 10 all time, just because. I mean, name another 3-point shooter that's better than him. You know what I mean? And what he's done for the game. We keep saying, Bird, good or bad. I mean, come on, Bird is top 3, really. You know what I mean? You really think about what Larry Bird and Magic Johnson did for the game of basketball. I know we talk about the revolution under Jordan and LeBron and stuff, but what if you go back, and I wasn't living in this time, but you really, the NBA was at a all-time low before Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, and then they revolutionized it, made it more popular again, and now Jordan was able to feed off that. And I'm sure Jordan knows that. Jordan absolutely knows that.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know what I mean? Jordan really revolutionized the shoe game and just made an individual kind of more popular than anyone else. I mean, still did amazing things for the game, as did LeBron, as has Steph Curry. Top 5 right now, no doubt about it. Let's get into what the most important part of this argument is in AG's response. Real quick.
I just want to say it's cyclical, and I wouldn't be surprised another 10 or 12 years we go back to post play with big men and stuff like that.
No,
just
100%.
Because of the way people try to do things and exploit weaknesses of other teams.
Got to give my man some time here though, because I know that he's been raring and ready for this one. So let's go. Let's hear it so I can argue back.
of all time, Steph Curry is in the 51 to 100 range for me. Okay? I have been watching
Explain yourself.
I have been watching NBA basketball since I was 8 years old. So that goes back to like 1989. Okay, so the Pistons winning it. And then of course Jordan taking over in the 90s. There are 50 other players that I would put over Steph Curry right now.
Next Friday, there's got to be a list with this.
Okay, I'll work on it. I'll work on it. I got other stuff I got to do too.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe even 2 Fridays. Give you, you could work on like a 1 through 10 each day or something.
He doesn't play defense. When we saw in the finals, we've seen in his career in the finals that he's disappeared at times. His shooting drops because he has better defenders on him, and his defense is lacking. And the fact is the dude could do whatever he wanted to with a basketball. Okay, I'm not taking away from his talent.
Right.
I've never said he's not talented, but the fact that he would rather sit back and shoot 35-footers all game long when he could get into the paint and hit that little runner, that little floater, because he is inventive. He's very creative. Mm-hmm. That he could do that and be a lot more effective on the offensive end. But on the defensive side, he is a liability. You saw it, what happened in the second quarter. Got into foul trouble because the Celtics were putting him in positions to where he had to switch and guard Jason Tatum. And that's a mismatch.
It was. I mean, there were so many times last night where Poole would be on Tatum at first when he's bringing the ball up court. And he gets up to the top of the perimeter, and next thing, a quick little switch, and now you got Steph. And I'm over here thinking, is Steph's ankles, is his knees going to be able to sustain covering a guy like Jason Tatum? Who, come on now, that dude is elusive. I mean, I've seen the comparisons to Kevin Durant, and now I'm starting to understand those comparisons, and maybe because of the size of Tatum's body could be better.
He's not
Durant.
As fragile.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, he's got Durant has 3 inches on him in height.
Yep.
But
Durant's probably more like 7 foot.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, because I mean, it's NBA, so they could be anywhere between 6'6" and 6'10", and they're going to call him 6'9". So, but I think Tatum's like 6'9". But Steph Curry is, for me, one of the most overrated players in the league right now. There is no way that you can sit there and watch his game and put him up against Kevin Durant or Luka Doncic or I'm not talking team game. I'm talking individual games.
Right, but
and a lot of it
team game though.
But I know, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that he is so resigned to just shooting it from deep when all he has to do is just take the ball to the hole. And I don't know if it's a fragility thing.
Could be.
He's tired, he's hurt, whatever. But the dude could be a much more effective ball player if he would just stop shooting from the outside as much.
But that's their MO. That's what the Warriors do.
I know, but look what he was able to do when he did get the ball in the paint.
Yeah.
And then what happened in the second quarter? Disappeared. 0 points.
I don't want to equate this to like military.
Still was the best player on the floor last night.
Like military type stuff, but like why get in close and hand to hand when you can be a sniper and you can shoot from long distance and not worry about getting hurt? You know what I'm saying? So like you were saying about him going down to the paint and being fragile, well, why even take the chance when you don't have to when you can shoot from 35 feet? I mean,
it's called efficiency.
He doesn't care about
I wonder how much analytics have played a role in this, though.
It's called rings and championships, I thought. You know what I'm saying? And winning. And as long as you're doing that, that's all that really matters.
And that's where I agree with, because they lost by 50 to Memphis. 50 the Golden State Warriors did. You know what I mean? So I'm just not saying, they're going to live and they're going to die by that. And that's just their MO. And the Celtics, you've seen more of that as the playoffs have gone on, that not only can they shoot threes, but they will shoot threes, and they'll shoot a barrage of them. I disagree with what Barrett said. Adam just lost all sports credibility with it. I disagree with that. I think everybody, first off, is entitled to their own opinion, and we're talking basketball right here. You know what I mean? You can't lose all credibility of sports off of one take.
Right. And you got to shoot the threes now to keep up.
But no, and I think that's what Boston kind of realized too as well. Maybe they did in that second round though. It was like, hey, we're gonna have to shoot. You know what I mean? And they're in a heck of a matchup right now, dude, and they're doing their daggum thing. So, hey, hot take there from AG, and we're going to be talking more about that as Fridays continue to roll on. We've got to get out of here. We're going to be right back for our 5 o'clock segment where we're going to be describing an athlete with one word.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is the Panhandle's destination for the Atlanta Braves.
Got him, swinging strike three.
Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Ronald Acuna Jr. and the Braves are back.
Unbelievable.
And hungry for more. Listen to the world champion Atlanta Braves on a world champion radio station.
Rosario knocked the living daylights out of it.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Swampy Jack here. I've traveled the world for decades and brought my most exciting adventures to Panama City Beach. Encounter the 25-foot-tall Swamp Ape. This indoor scrambler ride is synchronized for a multimedia experience like you've never felt. Put the pedal to the metal, racing around the Marrakesh track in electric go-kart. Supercharge your kart with special power-ups for extra speed or to sabotage opponents. And if you're hungry, grab a meal at Swampy's Cantina or enjoy an ice-cold beer. This and more at Swampy Jack's.
That boot store reminds you, a special day is coming up for a special guy. Some call him father. Around these parts, it's usually daddy. And when he's around, there's a feeling of safety and security. This Father's Day, that boot store has the perfect Western outfit for that special guy. A gift card works great too. That boot store next to Billboard Kia on 15th Street. Open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday. 9 a.m. to 5:30 on Friday and Saturday. Remember Joe's motto, keep your Heavenly Father first in your life every day.
Hi, I'm Kevin Shady with KHS & Associates. We represent private insurance providers using multiple nationwide PPO networks for pre-negotiated discounted rates and no copays, no co-insurance, and no deductibles. If you're interested in a quote, give us a call or text 502-386-1128 and provide us your zip code and the ages and gender of those to include. Call or text us at 502-386-1128. That's 502-386-1128.
Hello, this is Rick Boston with RV of Panama City, your local Stormore portable building dealer. We are located on 2241 East Baldwin Road, Panama City. Shopping for an 8-foot to 16-foot in width or 10-foot to 60-foot in length, cabin, garage, portable building, whatever the needs are. Remember, at Stormore, we can insulate our buildings. We can put electric on, thermal windows, transom dormers. There's so much we can do. Stormore Portable Buildings, 2241 East Baldwin Road.
Atlanta Braves play here. WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana. Powered by Pepsi. ESPN Northwest Florida. The next evolution in sports talk radio. It's the Afternoon Underdogs, broadcasting from the Rib Crib Radio Room.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Engage. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hour number 2 of the Afternoon Underdogs. Thank you guys for riding with us this afternoon. I'm David Hayes. We've got AG on the board. Caveman Rick's on the cameras. Really do appreciate you guys coming in, and all that you always do means a lot to me. It's the last day to enter for the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida Big Billboard Prize Pack. Take a picture of one of the big billboards.
No, go ahead. I was after you were done.
Oh, post it on Facebook, tag ESPN Northwest Florida, and then we'll be selecting a winner here very soon at random. You're going to be winning a big jumbo-sized prize pack.
Just with work and everything, it's been crazy. Has anybody found the van?
I don't think so,
Okay.
man. It is hiding behind a fence, and I'll tell you that it's in between. It's in between the bridges. It's in between the Tyndall Parkway Bridge, and it's in between the Hathaway Bridge.
Okay.
So, and it's on 15th Street.
And it's visible where you can see a portion of the van.
Yeah,
you don't want to see the whole thing.
Don't be getting behind.
No breaking and entering.
No breaking and entering, but you can see it from where it's at. And so if you find it, I mean, if you find the van, not only are you getting a T-shirt, but I'm doing like $50 worth of gift cards.
Hey, and quick, just to help some people out, it's not down by the river.
That's such a great. That's such a great skit. I showed, my brother had never seen that, and I showed it to him a couple weeks ago or whatever.
Chris Farley,
and
man.
oh, dude!
Ooh.
But it's funny because I saw like back in the day, if you're, if it's not working out for you, you're going to end up in a van down by the river. Now, these days, you can sell everything you got just so you can live in a van down by the
And look
river.
at that era, too. Missing him now and Phil Hartman.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
I mean,
man.
that's a bunch of good guys.
Classics.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Atlanta Braves coverage starts tonight, 6:25. First pitch, 7:40 versus the Colorado Rockies. Hopefully, we can get a duplicate of last night's game. Max Fried on the hill for the Atlanta Braves, so you definitely got to be expecting some good things there. Tune in Monday. I believe I've got him set for 4:30, but I've got former NHL referee Tim Peel going to be on the phone line with us, and I really want to ask him about that offsides call because I still am under the impression that when the puck first touches your stick, does that not constitute as possession?
That's the way I look at it. I think that's the way Gretzky was looking at it because he was like appalled and he was like, look perplexed.
He was like, no way.
What the hell are you guys talking about?
And then the dude's up there trying to explain to him.
But the reasoning they were given was because technically he didn't have possession.
Because
but anytime but when you dump the puck into the zone, okay, and you're playing dump and chase, you don't have possession of the puck.
Right.
And if somebody else is ahead of the play, they're already offside, but you don't have possession of the puck. So how is that any different in a dump and chase? I don't get that. That's my problem with it.
Even with all the explanations and everything, I'm like, I get all y'all rule book fiends and everything. I understand that, but are you taking that a little too literally? Because I don't feel like just because the puck, like you said, dump and chase, right? Well, the puck is not on your stick at that point in time. Once you touch the puck, you've got possession, in my opinion, especially if you're in the middle of a deke.
My thing, it's going to end up happening if the Avalanche end up winning the Stanley Cup this year, I'm going to akin this to the Tuck rule.
No.
Yes.
Dude,
that's one play in a series. This isn't one play in one game.
I hear you, but sometimes that's all it takes to change the momentum. That
Dude,
game,
Philly fans are y'all are rough.
It's a 2-goal game at the end of that game, right? But in that game, in that situation, it was only a 1-goal game.
Yeah.
Okay, and if that doesn't happen, the game can go totally different.
Well,
so
how about last night?
You can look at it that way, but.
How about last night? I mean, were you not we're getting into that at 5:30, so let's keep it rolling right here. Pat, all right, so let's do one word. You describe the athlete, right? So I'll say a player's name. We're going to stick to NFL, college football players here. And then we use one word to describe them. We'll start with Caveman Rick here. Let's go with Patrick. You got one for Patrick Mahomes? What you got?
Quick draw, like a gunslinger.
Yeah, gunslinger, quick draw, I like it. What do you got?
Baby.
Like baby goat or
no, like crybaby.
Crybaby. See, that's what I would say if we had Luka on
I hear you.
here. Luka's a crybaby.
I don't get what he's really crying about, though.
Who's that, Mahomes?
Yeah.
That's what I'm. That's
just
why
watch his mannerisms on
just
the field.
watch his mannerisms. Okay, I've never thought. I don't know. I'm going to look for that in the future.
He gets that face that he makes that it's like, come on, dude, get over it.
Making a face is one thing, but if you run up to the ref and you're
Joe
complaining,
Burrow
you're
looks
like
he's hanging out with the
cool,
wet
man.
bandits.
He's cool, man.
All right, so for Mahomes, for me, I'm going to go magician just because sometimes the arm angle that he comes with, the no-look passes always available to him. I'll go with magician, and the way he played golf the other day. Now, I don't think a lot of people were expecting him to be as good on the links as what he was. Let's go to a power running back here in Jonathan Taylor. You don't have one for that one yet, so.
I can give you one right now.
All right, what you got?
Freight train.
Freight train. I would use that more on.
Yeah, maybe somebody else, but he's still
Derrick Henry, I guess. But no, I like that one. Freight train, it works, right? 2 words though. Hold up. 2 words. No, I'm just kidding. What you got?
Mine's hyphenated.
All right.
Underutilized.
Yours is hyphenated too. Underutilized. Wow. Just because. True, right?
Yeah.
And it's because of.
Ask Carson Wentz.
Right.
He's in Washington now. Thanks.
Man, underutilized. That one's good. I'll go hyphenated as well then, all around.
Yeah.
Because
he can block.
He can block.
He can catch. He can run. Yep.
He can bounce it outside. He can run you over inside.
He's got the circle button and the stick.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. I'll call him Madden back.
There you go.
Tyrann Mathieu, what you got for this one?
Opportunistic.
Ooh, that's actually decent.
Mm-hmm.
What you got?
Mine's kind of a play off of that, honestly. Not with just like individual plays, but just his career overall is a renaissance.
Ooh,
that's pretty good.
That is really good. I'll go honey badger. No, I'm just kidding. Dog. I'm gonna go dog for real with Tyrann Mathieu because he is a dog, man, and he was
I thought
really
it was a badger.
no, that's why I said the Honey Badger was his nickname. But no, he really is a dog. He was the backbone of that Kansas City defense, like of the defensive backfield. And
at LSU.
And the Saints and at LSU. Oh my gosh, the dude was all over the field. Yeah, no doubt.
Peterson,
wherever he's been. And now he's with the Saints, and they've got Marcus May over there as well. I just think of him as a dog. He's one of those guys who, like, even if he doesn't get his way, he is about it, man. And you better not. You might not want to run his way if you're in the open field.
Barrett says Honey Badger is playmaker. He hyphenated as well.
Hey, playmaker for real, though. He absolutely is a playmaker. Let's get into Peyton Manning. I'll go.
Do we all have the same one here, please?
Because I think, hold on. Let's 3, 2, 1. Forehead.
Omaha.
Well, we had the same one.
Omaha.
Omaha, that's a good one.
Forehead. Or cerebral, something to do with his head.
Yeah.
I
figured it'd be Omaha because
I like that though. That's his go-to line, man.
That's his tagline.
That's his W.
Right, but I mean that's what I mean. You say Peyton Manning to me now, I'm like Omaha.
Yeah, that's the catchphrase.
Let's go, Aaron Rodgers.
Brat.
Apathetic.
Lonely.
So Shailene. Goodness gracious.
Shailene. All right, let's get into Pat McAfee. I'll start with this one. Superstar.
Right. This one's here for Boston Tim. Southie. If you know what that is, anybody out there.
I've got homeboy. Like he's that dude that you just want to hang out
drink
with.
Drink a beer with and tell some stories.
I love it, man. That guy has really become one of my favorite guys to watch, and you know he's a heck of an entertainer, and he's everywhere these days. Let's get into Josh Allen
real quick. Bear Townsend on Facebook said A-Rod is diva.
That's the best one I think out of all of them, for sure. Definitely a diva, no doubt about it. Let's get into Josh Allen here. One word to describe Josh Allen.
It's getting a little bit better now. Now he's like going to his 4th year now, but raw.
Okay, I think that it is becoming refined. I think Brian Daboll did a heck of a job with him. But I like that, though, because it is a lot of raw talent there that is being honed in.
As a project.
As Wyoming guy, you know what I mean? What do you got?
I got ready.
Ready. Ooh, raw and ready. And then I'll finish it off with Tom Brady's words, chunky. That was so funny. Did y'all see in the match where he chunked a shot?
Yeah.
Well, he chunked a shot, Tom Brady did, and he said, I chunked that one. I call that a Josh Allen.
Nice.
They had so much fun in that match, man. Jalen Ramsey.
Kleptomaniac.
Ooh.
I got burnt.
Because he gets burnt?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
In the Super Bowl he did.
Yeah, in the Super Bowl he did get burnt.
Typically gets a lot of picks. That's why I picked klepto stealing.
Yeah. I'll go mouthy in a good way. In a good way. He's a trash talker for 4 consecutive quarters, and that's always a lot of fun. How about Aaron Donald? One word to describe Aaron Donald.
Hulk.
Ooh, nice. I like that one.
Legend.
Definitely a legend. I'll go. I'm almost going to make a bold prediction here. I think the Rams will get it done, but I almost want to say retired.
Yeah.
I don't think that he will.
What else does he have to prove, honestly? Other than love of the game.
He has nothing to prove. If there's still, that want to of playing the game, then I think he will come back. But if the Rams stick with the deal that he's got now, no, he's not coming back to play for anything less than what he feels his value is at right now. Yeah. Let's get into another Ram
Barrett
here.
Townsend has 2. He says Josh Allen is savior.
Yeah.
And Ramsey is DBU.
Florida State, yeah. I like that. So many claims to the DBU world, man. One day we'll have to really kind of make our own list of who from DB. Not, you got Florida State, Ohio State. You can make the case for Alabama, LSU. All of those guys have a lot of defensive backs in the league. It'll be fun to really see who we think is DBU. Let's go Cooper Kupp, though. Ram, wide receiver. What you got?
For me, black hole. Everything gets sucked in there, and once it's around there, it's not going away. So he just catches everything.
Okay, that's good.
People know about black holes.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. I mean, what else can you say about the dude?
I want to.
He shouldn't be that open. And
Triple Crown is 2 words.
We can hyphenate it just for
Yeah, I'll go Triple Crown just because the last guy to do that. What was it? Calvin Johnson? Or did Calvin Johnson not even get the Triple Crown? Maybe it was Jerry.
I don't think he was. I think it was close, but I don't think he quite got there.
Then maybe Jerry Rice was the last guy to get the Triple Crown. Darnold. Oh, he's talking about Aaron Donald GOAT. Yeah. I was like, Sam Darnold the GOAT. Like maybe on the side of a mountain going, what in the world? Stetson Bennett.
Lucky.
Stetson Bennett. Ooh, lucky.
Underappreciated.
Ooh, how about fortuitous?
There you go.
Yeah. It's pretty much the same thing as lucky.
Well, I mean, he took advantage of the opportunity that he had.
That is
opportunistic.
Opportunistic. That's a great one. Let's go Caleb Williams, quarterback now for the Trojans of USC. What do you got for that one?
I didn't really think of one, so off the top of my head, I might have to say, I don't even know, to be honest with you. It's kind of tough. Skip me. I'll think of something.
Okay.
Stalactite.
Yep. Stalactites are from...
They hang tight to the ceiling.
Okay.
So his ceiling is there.
Uh-huh.
But
he's close
he
to
just
the floor.
keeps dropping down to the floor.
I would just say trash.
Yeah.
No, because I really and I hope that the kid proves me wrong. Barrett Townsend says Cooper Kupp reliable, like that one.
Mm-hmm.
Stetson Bennett mailman, like that one as well. No, for me, Caleb Williams, I don't see what everyone else is seeing. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about it, but you bench him, you bench Spencer Rattler, who I'm also not high on. For Caleb Williams, you got dubs, but you didn't get production. He can run pretty good, but he doesn't throw very great. So I mean, and trash is strong. I get it, but let's see how this year plays out. I love when people prove me wrong. I'm not, I'm not Nostradamus.
Think about the pressure that kid's going to feel at USC, though, because you have an opportunity to be in that top 4 by the end of the season if he does what we all think that he's capable of.
Ooh, Caleb Williams, follower, because he followed
I was going to say follower.
Riley.
I was about to say something like that,
Yeah.
Just same thing like follower.
Good stuff. 2 more real quick before we get out of here. Lamar Jackson, elusive.
Mushmouth.
That's mean.
Fat Albert, man.
No, I know. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, come on, man.
He is who he is, man. I have empowered. Because of everything that happened last year, and the contract and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
He's representing himself. I feel like empowered is probably a good one for.
I like
for
that. I'll go with elusive. I'm surprised and I'm thankful too that no one said running back. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not going to say it.
Well, of course you're not going to say that, but dude, I have high hopes for Lamar Jackson. Still got Mike Vick above him as far as like the type of quarterbacks that they were. I think Mike Vick had a little bit better.
Strictly because of duration.
And arm. I think that Mike Vick's arm, especially when he throws a bullet, you know what I mean? But the jury is not out yet on Lamar Jackson.
No.
There's still time, man. And a lot of injuries to that Ravens defense. L. Jackson for Barrett says speed. Bryce Young, $3 million? I mean, NIL, like, what do you got for Bryce Young?
I don't know. I really don't have a good one, to be honest with you.
All right.
Future.
Okay. Future NFL?
Just his future.
His future?
I think he's on a trajectory right now to be a really, really great quarterback.
For me, with Bryce Young, I think I'll go with composure.
Yeah.
Because he really does hold his composure very well and just kind of keeps it at a even keeled pace.
Maybe just fortunate.
Fortunate?
Where he's at,
fortunate.
Where he's at, what he's getting, what he's doing.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. We got to take a break. You can listen to ESPN Northwest Florida on 104.3 FM, 102.1 FM in Mariana, or the ESPN Northwest Florida app, where we've got Click It to Win It trivia prizes.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Dan Patrick Show.
We talk about experience. The Boston Celtics, they don't have any experience in the finals. Golden State lost 2 championships and lost them to rookie coaches, Nick Nurse and Ty Lue. We didn't say anything about that. And guess who's a rookie this year? Ime Udoka, who is the Boston Celtics head coach.
Dan Patrick.
Weekday mornings, 9 to 11, ESPN Northwest Florida.
My weather forecast overnight, spotty showers and thunderstorms, partly cloudy skies, and the low to mid-70s. Looks like that tropical system is going to head more towards southern and central Florida, not really bother us. We'll keep an eye on it. Mostly sunny this weekend, highs well into the 80s, close to 90 degrees. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Golf Plus is your premier golf shop on the Gulf Coast. Not a big box or a chain store, but a local store with golf experts to serve you. An amazing array of demo and fitting products, plus a professional repair shop that can handle anything from a basic re-grip to a full set of re-shafts and everything in between. Golf Plus has locations in Dothan and Panama City Beach to serve you. Come see him today for all your golf needs. Located next to Firefly at the shops at Edgewater. Call 850-249-2726.
Hi, this is Coach James Hale. Keeping your car looking great is easy as 1, 2, 3 at Blue Sky Express Car Wash. By joining their monthly wash club, you'll get the best bang for your buck. In just 2 car washes, your monthly membership pays for itself, starting at only $19.99 a month. What are you waiting for? Become a member today at Blue Sky Express Car Wash on Back Beach Road next to Home Depot. Tell them Coach Hale sent you.
Hi folks, it's Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Did you know that we have a master jeweler right here in the store? That's right, he has over 30 years experience in the art of repairing jewelry. Most repairs are done within 2 business days, so don't send your jewelry off for 6 weeks. Bring it to us at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We size rings and solder chains. We can reset your diamond into new settings and even custom design. You'll get your jewelry back quickly and looking as good as new. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, Bay County's trusted jeweler for over 45 years.
Doing what other stations can't. The Afternoon Underdogs is live and local inside the Rib Crib Radio Room. 850-215-6290.
When you have completed dialing, listen for the ringing signal.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are live. Atlanta Braves tonight coverage starts at 6:25. We've got the first pitch at 7:40. Max Fried on the mound for the Bravos tonight. Hopefully we can duplicate the performance from last night. Now getting over to, man, we've got the regional starting today for the College World Series. What better guest to have on the line than Chandler Permenter, who covers Ole Miss and Southern Miss for @247CWS. On Twitter, that's 24/7 College World Series. But make sure you're going and following these guys, and also WCWS247 on Twitter as well. The latest, the greatest information that you need for the Women's College World Series and for the Men's College World Series. Chandler, what's going on, my buddy?
David, what's up, man? It feels like it should be a national holiday.
I'm telling you, man. Dude, and what's the worst part about it is we've been having to use our computers in here to try to watch the games because something's going on with our cable right now. So I've just been having to keep up on the computers. It's been a tough go at it trying to do show prep and keep up with the College World Series. But we do have a question from Adam Goff right now who wants to ask you something. So,
hey, Chandler. So there was been kind of some controversy, with the selection show, with NC State not making it and Ole Miss making it in. So what's your take on that, covering Ole Miss like you do?
Well, so, I mean, the thing about it is that it's just like in basketball. If you're one of those, like, high 30s, mid to high 30s teams, and, there's only all these automatic bids, you're taking that chance. I mean, like, the RPI is a big thing, and I think NC State actually had a better RPI than Ole Miss this year, and so a lot of people were upset that NC State didn't get in. I mean, I don't, obviously I'm happy it worked out the way it did, but, I mean, I think NC State definitely deserved a spot. I personally hate all the auto bids. I mean, 99% of 4 seeds that get the auto bid aren't going to do anything in the tournament, and if you put some of those 40 or 50 RPI teams in there, they're going to normally do a whole lot better. But, I mean, it's kind of luck of the draw, and if Ole Miss gets to play a full regional this weekend or early next week, they just got to prove that they belong. I mean, that's just how it goes. If they go in and go, 2 and barbecue and get knocked out, it's going to look real bad. NC State's going to be really upset. But if they go in and win that regional in Miami, I mean, maybe we don't look so bad. So it'll just depend on how that works out.
Good stuff there. What are you surprised that Tommy White, the sensational freshman, is transferring from North Carolina State?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you got to be at least a little bit surprised because, I mean, he's playing on a national championship caliber team. I mean, they definitely had a chance to run deep this year if they made it into the CWS. They kind of had a rough go of things at times, so that's what kept them out of the regionals this year. But I think it's the NIL world we live in, man. I feel like there was probably talks with them before the season even ended. Hey, we can get you this money here or this money here, and I think that's what we're going to be living in for the next couple of years until we figure out some regulations on this stuff.
Let's get through these regionals here, starting off with the Knoxville Regional, hosted by Tennessee, with Tennessee, Alabama State, Campbell, and Georgia Tech. Who are the top two teams that are going to be moving on into the Super Regionals from that regional?
I mean, it's hard to believe that anybody's going to beat Tennessee, especially at home in their own regional. But, I mean, Campbell came out today against Georgia Tech and hit the dang ball. That's what they do. I mean, they scored 15 runs today against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech pitcher wasn't really impressive coming into the game, and he definitely didn't look that impressive during the game. But Tennessee's currently tied in the second right now with Alabama State. And Alabama State's one of those auto bids that, again, I don't really think should be there in the first place. If this game's even remotely close, I'll be shocked. But I'd say Campbell's going to be the runner-up in that regional, and it should be an interesting last couple of games, but I think Tennessee's got them.
Killing my bracket already, man. They did a charity bracket, and I got my stuff put in there yesterday. And if Campbell moves on, man, I'm falling in that one. Let's get to the Statesboro Regional, hosted by Georgia Southern, with Georgia Southern taking on UNC Greensboro and Texas Tech and Notre Dame facing off later on today.
Yeah, so Georgia Southern's one of those teams that was another bubble team, or not a bubble team, but bubble team to host. And they're trying to prove that they deserve that spot. Because Notre Dame, I thought, was potentially a host team. And I've got Notre Dame coming out of that one. But, I mean, Texas Tech, Notre Dame, Georgia Southern, they're all great teams. I've got Georgia Southern as the runner-up. But, I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be totally shocked if any of those teams. And even UNC Greensboro is not a bad team, but I've got one of the top three seeds coming out of there. Probably Notre Dame if I had to pick.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Okay. And out of the Greenville Regional, hosted by East Carolina, who do you got coming out of that one?
So right now it's going to be super, super tough to go anywhere but East Carolina. I mean, I've got East Carolina coming out of there with Virginia as the runner-up, but East Carolina today, so they played the 4 seed today. What was the final? I know it was bad.
17-1.
Yeah, against Coppin. I mean, they're another really good ball club that's hitting the ball really well right now. It's going to be tough to beat East Carolina. They're my pick on that one.
All right, AG. Okay, all right. Moving right along to the College Station Regional, hosted by Texas A&M. Give me your top two teams coming out of there, and then give me a player to watch in that regional.
Texas A&M's one of the hottest teams in the country right now. They've looked really, really good. They kind of ended the hot streak that Ole Miss was on to end the season, and I mean, they are just a really, really good ball club. But Louisiana, the 3 seeds, no slouch. If I was going to pick a 3 seed, they're one of the top 5 or 6 in the tournament right now. And TCU's not bad themselves. As far as a player, I mean, Dylan Rock, man, he made Ole Miss look silly. That man was hitting the ball all over the park. I think he's probably, if I had to pick one player to watch in that regional, it would be Dylan Rock.
All right. So the Louisville Regional, hosted by Louisville. Who do you see coming out of there? And tell me a player that you're looking for in that regional.
So I hate to keep going, pretty much chalk, but I mean, Louisville to me, they're probably the best team in that regional. It's a little bit tough to say because that's a closer one. Oregon and Michigan are both good teams following them up, but I would probably lean Louisville right now. And as far as a best player in that one, I'm a little bit partial to Mike Bianco's son. I think that's
Ben.
Yeah, Ben over there in Louisville. I mean, he's always been fun to watch for me, but again, I'm a little bit partial, being as his dad coaches for Ole Miss. But that should be a really interesting regional, though.
All right, moving on to the Gainesville Regional, hosted by the Florida Gators. Who do you got coming out of that one?
Okay, so here's one I can finally not be going chalk on. I really like Oklahoma, man. They are hot right now. They won big today, and I've kind of said all year that Florida's not really the team that everybody thinks they are. So they're going to prove me wrong on that one. And the way Oklahoma's hitting the ball right now, it's going to be hard for me to vote against the Oklahoma Sooners.
Give me a player to watch in that regional.
Oh, that's tough because you got talent all up and down the Oklahoma batting order. If I was going to pick a team or a player from there, I'm going to go with an Oklahoma player. Let me look real quick at their pick one player. 1 second.
It's all good, man. One player from the Oklahoma lineup, Chandler Permenter, who is with Ole Miss, or covers Ole Miss and Southern Miss for 247 CWS. Make sure that you're following them on Twitter.
Let me get right back to you on that one. My phone's not loading.
All right, yeah. You want to move on to the next regional, the Blacksburg Regional, hosted by Virginia Tech.
Yeah, again, I'm going to go chalk here, too. Virginia Tech, I was really high on Gonzaga going into today, but with Columbia upsetting Gonzaga, maybe they're trying to, really play their way in because Columbia, you definitely don't think of them as a baseball school. And, of course, you don't really Gonzaga either, but Gonzaga's been really good all year. And then all of a sudden, here comes Tech, or here comes Columbia. But Virginia Tech's a really, really good ball club. I think they're the 4th seed in the tournament. And, it's going to be tough for Columbia or Gonzaga to pick them off. But I'd be watching for see if Columbia is going to stay hot. And then back to the Oklahoma deal, a player for Oklahoma, I just had him on the tip of my tongue, and now I'm sorry.
Spikerman.
I'm normally more prepared than this. Okay, let's go back to where we were. Virginia Tech in that one. That's who I got there.
All right, Virginia Tech there. Let's move on.
The Stanford Regional. Or who are we looking at in that region?
So Texas State's been fun to watch all year. Texas State's been a really, really good ball club, but I'm going to have them as a runner-up. Stanford's just been pretty much the second-best team in the pack this year. Almost hands down. I told you the pack for the last several weeks. I told you the pack is very top-heavy.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably the best 1 and 2 in the as far as for a conference. They're probably got the best 1-2 punch with Oregon State and Stanford. I think Stanford's going to come out of that one pretty easily.
All right, moving on to the Maryland hosting the College Park Regional. Who do you think comes out of there, and who do you think's got the hottest bat coming out of that region?
So in College Park, I've got Wake Forest because Wake Forest has been on fire with the bats this year. Maryland's a good ball club at the 14 or 15 seed, and they're going to be fun to watch, but it's just hard for me to believe that they're going to be quite good enough to pick off Wake Forest.
UConn just beat Wake Forest today, 8-7.
I'm sorry?
UConn just beat Wake Forest 8-7 today.
And I did see they were up, but I did miss that. I missed the final on that one. And UConn, hey, they're a good 3 seed too. I've got them as another 2 or 3 seed. Ole Miss, Louisiana, and UConn are probably, in my opinion, the best 3 seeds. It's going to be hard to come back in that one. It's especially hard for a non-Power 5 school because they don't quite have the pitching that everybody else has. But Wake Forest could still come back and win that one.
All right, let's get into the Chapel Hill Regional, and that's hosted by North Carolina. Some good schools in this one of them being Georgia as well. Give me the top 2 seeds to come out of the Chapel Hill Regional.
VCU's usually kind of a sleeper. They played some good ball against Ole Miss this year. They played some Power 5 schools, and so they can always be kind of fun to watch. I'm not quite as high on Georgia as some people are, but North Carolina, for the most part this season, has been really, really good. And, they played 4 seed Hofstra today and just dominated them. I think it was 15-4 at the end of that one. So it's going to be hard for anybody to knock North Carolina off.
All right, so the Stillwater Regional hosted by OK State.
I was really torn on this one when I had to pick for the bracket. Grand Canyon is definitely not a bad ball club, and I think Arkansas handled them pretty well today. At 7-1, Arkansas handled them pretty well today. I have Arkansas winning that one, but don't be surprised if Oklahoma State comes out and plays really well in their new ballpark. That's a beautiful new ballpark. They're going to have a lot of fans there. It should be a really fun one to watch, but I think Arkansas is going to pull it out.
And then down to Coral Gables here for Miami, which has been postponed from today until, is it tomorrow or is it Sunday when they'll be getting that one underway?
They've got it scheduled for tomorrow. I don't personally think they're going to play any baseball tomorrow. I'd be shocked if they even get 2 or 3 games off on Sunday. It's looking terrible down there. But if they don't play any baseball, which is unlikely, Miami wins automatically just being the 1 seed.
Really?
Wow.
just for being the one seed, they're going to get the automatic pass on to the Super Regional. Either they'll be hosting that if they get to advance. But I mean, Ole Miss Arizona is kind of the storyline here because that's the Super Regional matchup from last year. Arizona won that one 2 out of 3 games. I really think Ole Miss is going to stay hot and win it. I mean, again, a little bit of a bias pick, but everybody kind of at 247 CWS has kind of thought that Miami's been a little bit of a fraud this year. I mean, I guess I'm going to find out. I hate those words, but I mean, I really think Ole Miss got the best ball club right now, and hopefully time will tell. But you never know. We may not even get to play any ball.
Crazy. Yet another reason why you want to actually host a regional.
Well, but real quick, how did they figure out the runner-up in that regional then?
That's going to be something we're going to have to. That the whole runner-up system is something that we decided on as a point structure for the bracket. There won't be an official runner-up, so we'll probably do, if we don't play any baseball, we'll give the winner to the 1 seed and the runner-up to the 2 seed.
Okay.
Right on. All right, moving on to your area. In the southern Mississippi hosting the Hattiesburg Regional. What we got coming out of there?
So I've got Southern Miss coming out. Any of the 3 seeds, the top 3 seeds here, you could really see coming out and winning that one. Southern Miss played Army today, and I got to watch a good bit of that game. They pitched their ace, Tanner Hall. Now, all 3 of their weekend starters are really, really good. All of them are sub-3 ERA. Tanner Hall's he's sub-1 whip, and the other 2 guys are like 1.11. But they decided to go ahead and pitch him today against Army. He threw 8 complete, 5 hits, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, and looked really, really good. The bats, though, for Southern Miss have been basically dead since the game against Ole Miss in Trust Park about a month ago. So they're going to have to find a way to hit against LSU because LSU can hit the ball really well, and it's going to be an interesting matchup between Southern's pitching and LSU's hitting.
All right. The Auburn Regional, hosted by Auburn.
So
this one's stacked.
This one really is, and that's another team we haven't been very high on is Florida State. But, I mean, Florida State is a 3 seed. It's dangerous. I don't care how high you are on Florida State. I mean, they're hardly ever not a host, much less a 3 seed. So that's really interesting. I've actually got Florida State running that one up with Auburn coming out of it on top. But, I mean, I pondered over that one for forever because UCLA, they're probably the 3rd best team on the West Coast, and that automatically means you're one of the best teams in the country. So I could have honestly went for any of those 3, but I've got Auburn winning it just because they were really hot coming out of the SEC tournament, and Florida State as the runner-up.
Okay, good stuff there. And then the final one that we've got, the Corvallis Regional, hosted by Oregon State. Give us your take here. Who's the top 2 teams coming out? And then a player to watch in the Corvallis Regional.
So one of my favorite players, period, in college baseball right now, and I hate to say this because I'm probably the biggest Vandy hater there is, but Enrique Bradford Jr. is so much fun to watch.
Fast.
Out there in center, man, that man flies. And that's been my player to watch for this regional just because he is incredibly entertaining. But he's currently 0 for 3, and I'm sorry, not currently 0 for 3. The game ended. I was watching part of it before the phone call, and then he got upset today. They were playing San Diego, and San Diego went in there and got up 3-0 early, and Vandy made a late game comeback. It was 3-2 was the final there. And
Probably no.
Vandy is I'm sorry.
I was going to say probably no Vandy Whistler because it's on the other side of the country.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because it's early in the week, but he does travel even across the country in my experience. But I mean, trust me when I say that, I really hope he doesn't. But,
I'm sure lots of people hope he doesn't.
Right, yeah. I think there's only one fan base in the country that likes the guy. But again, Oregon State's just been so dominant this year. I don't know that anybody's going to be able to take them down. But if I had to have picked a team to do it, I thought it would have been Vanderbilt. But now they're in the losers bracket, and they got a long way to go if they're going to come back.
Oh, man, Chandler, thanks so much, man. That was a lot of great stuff. Chandler Permenter covers Ole Miss and Southern Miss for @247CWS, and y'all need to go follow them on Twitter as well as WCWS247. Chandler, thanks so much for your time, man. Enjoy the rest of the games.
Absolutely, man. I'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. We'll be keeping it locked in here with Chandler Permenter as we move throughout the regionals, the super regionals, and then finally Omaha, the College World Series, a bucket list item for me, which is not going to happen this year, but one day I'm getting up to Omaha and I'm going to take in
Omaha!
some Peyton Manning. I'm going to go take in some College World Series balls. Hey, you're riding College World Series ball. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You can listen on 104.3 FM, 102.1 FM, or the ESPN Northwest Florida app. Keep it locked in, y'all.
This is your captain speaking. Thank you for flying with ESPN Northwest Florida. Please return to your seats, buckle up, and prepare for launch.
He struck him out. Max Fried leaves the bases loaded.
The defending world champion Atlanta Braves are sponsored by PCB Coins and Cards, Guthrie's Fit Culture, Panama City Toyota, Brock's Pest Control, and ESPN Northwest Florida. And we apologize for any turbulence you've experienced this season with the Atlanta Braves.
At Slim Chickens, craft means something. Craft means bacon. And oh, so crispy. Craft means a good cayenne kick. And all-natural buttermilk marinated, made fresh, perfectly fried chicken. All served on toasted brioche buns. At Slim Chickens, craft means quality. And for a limited time, try our new Memphis-style barbecue chicken sandwich. Try Slim's Craft sandwiches today. Slim Chickens.
Hi, I'm Bobby Likas with another Car Clinic Minute. CEOs use it, dictators abuse it, and batteries lose it. Now you can hold it in the palm of your hand. When I come back, I'll enhance your position on the power curve.
The Car Clinic Minute.
It's Bobby Likas Car Clinic, brought to you locally by Hewitt Tire and Auto.
Call 850-769-7323.
Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
That's 850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
Wonder why powerful Napoleon marched into Paris? Maybe his car had a dead battery. Well, maybe not. But if you've ever missed events because your car wouldn't start, listen up. Future Labs and Polaroid have partnered to create a handheld battery recharger called Start Me Up. This device plugs into your cigarette lighter and recharges your battery in about 5 minutes. No more matching positive and negative cables and hoping for the best. Move over, Mick Jagger. This Start Me Up is pure American ingenuity. I'm Bobby Likas. Like us, you'll love us.
From the Florida-Bama line to the Gulf of Mexico, from the Upper Grand Lagoon to McKenzie Park, we are live and local.
Whether you like it or not, you have a gift.
Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs, live from the Rib Crib Radio Room, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Bay Handyman Services, they listen better, they plan better, they build better. 850-753-5014. That's 850-753-5014. They have 24/7 emergency services. You can reach them on their website at bayhandymanservices.com. They hold a 5-star rating, and they'll do anything from hanging pictures to a full house remodel. If you can't get it done, they will. 850-753-5014. Atlanta Braves tonight. Coverage starts 6:25. First pitch 7:40. Also, take a trip around while you're listening to the Atlanta Braves tonight and take you some pictures of the billboard. Just one picture. Tag ESPN Northwest Florida in the photo, and boom shakalaka, you're going to be locked in to a chance at winning a prize because we're going to be selecting that at random. Let's get into the NHL.
Real quick, how about Ryan Mulvey? A little shout out there. His Coastal Carolina Chanticleers are up 2-0 on Virginia in the third.
Let's go. I think that I picked them. I'd have to go back and really look at who I picked because I kind of did it on the fly. I didn't have any information in front of me and just went that way because they did it in a spreadsheet. Really cool way of doing it, and honestly probably wouldn't have played outside of the money going to charity. You know what I mean? So that kind of – but I I think moving forward, I love these things. I love picking things.
Dude, if you've never been to a regional or super regional in the college for the College World Series, it's phenomenal.
I haven't even been to the SEC tournament, dude.
It's a phenomenal product.
I got to get out there. Maybe next year I'll have people. Eventually, I'll get to the point where I can have people come in and feel like you guys have done for me before, and I can get out there and y'all can call me and I'll be like, yeah, and we'll do a 15-minute, 30-minute segment on what's going on at the event.
You're listening live.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, man. Like really riding with the Afternoon Underdogs at that point. Tampa Bay Lightning. Well, let's get into the game last night, right? Colorado Avalanche. They won Game 1, 8-6. Last night, 4-0. And this is what I was gonna say earlier in the show about the barrage of goals that came. I mean, 2 of them were within 13 seconds of each other, and then you had another one very shortly after. They tagged on the 4th one later on in the 3rd period. What are you seeing from this series? And is now, I mean, Colorado has been the team to beat really throughout the season, but especially since the playoffs have started.
I'm not surprised to see what's going on so far in the series. A little bit of home cooking, though, I think, with the referee situation in the first 2 games. That's something that kind of surprised me. So we'll see what ends up happening once the series, moves to Edmonton now, and we'll see if Edmonton maybe gets a little home cooking on their side and gets a little help from the referees. Hopefully so. I thought, they got kind of done wrong and kind of dirty the last 2 games.
This is kind of funny for me because remember I asked the question a few weeks ago, you don't hear about people complaining about the officiating in hockey very much, and now here we are.
Until something bad happens.
But my next question is didn't you say yesterday that Colorado had their backup goalie in, or was that Edmonton?
Yeah. And that's why I've got
and he shut him out.
Yeah. He shut. That's why my kind of follow-up question to that. I want to touch on the refs, though, because I'm with you, though. It has seemed like it's been tilted one way closer to Colorado's favor than it has been
most
for Edmonton. And it's weird to see that because there is no excuse like that in the first game of the Eastern Conference Finals. The Rangers took that game into their hands, exploited the rust for the Tampa Bay Lightning, but rust or not, the way that they played, they were winning that ball game. They took that hockey game. They took it into their own hands. I don't think there was anything wrong with the refereeing in that game, but you have seen a little bit more of it, and maybe it's the fast-paced, the incredible speed of the pace of which they're playing at. Maybe.
I don't know so much because in that first game when there was that offside call, I mean, the ref was right there standing on the blue line, and he was like 5 feet away from the play, and they made the wrong call. So,
But you know what? We're so in the minority on that, bro. Like, me and you are really so far in the minority. You get on Twitter, and everybody's like, dude, possession, bro. Like, he didn't have it on his stick.
Dog. I think people like that are really just don't know what they're talking about for the most part, and I think they're just
So do the refs have no idea what they're talking about? Are they making up rules? Like, what's going on?
Like they said, there's some home cooking going on there. I hate to say that. The Avs have been really good, this season. I hate to say that the league doesn't want to see them win or there's something like that going on, but how can you not think things like that when you see what's going on in these games?
Yeah. Good.
No, I was going to ask you. I was going to throw it to the next, the game tonight. What does Tampa need to do to get back in their winning ways?
Their line changes have to be a lot smoother. They have to get in front of Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky was on an island for the majority of the night.
Being on the road.
Yeah.
When your line changes, because you have the long change 2 out of the 3 periods when you're on the road.
Yeah.
When you're at home, you have the short change 2 out of 3 periods.
Yeah, and that's a great point, too, but I'm saying smoother line changes.
No, I understand that, too, but also that, like you said, you're rusted. You guys had some long series.
So just kind of getting the feeling for the game.
An older team, you're going to have some lag there. You know what I'm saying? And it's a extra, amount of distance you have to go to make that change.
Honestly, the first period, I was like, oh, this game is going to be mad. You know what I mean? And then the Rangers just kind of pulled away, and it showed the Lightning had about 25, 30 minutes worth of good gameplay, whereas the Rangers had 60 minutes of good gameplay.
The Lightning got frustrated. Igor Shesterkin was playing so well. I mean, they got their shots off on him. The guy was just stoning them cold.
Yeah.
And when you're used to scoring, I don't want to say at will, but like the ease that the Lightning have had.
Especially on the power play.
They get frustrated, I'm sure. And then you start, clinching your stick a little bit more, turning into sawdust, and you start, I don't want to say getting the yips, but, it becomes more difficult to score.
What were you saying?
No, I'm just curious about the game tonight because, you got Tampa that's, had success the last 2 years, and now their backs are against the wall.
Well, so I guess this is put it in a nutshell for you since we've got about 4 minutes here. If they lose tonight, I would almost consider this, in a sense, not necessarily a must-win, but when was the last time the Lightning lost games in back-to-back
It's
in
bound to
back-to-back
happen
games?
in a long enough timeline.
Well, 100%.
And you can't count Tampa out until they lose their first game at home.
Well, no doubt. But what I'm saying is, since in these two Stanley Cup runs, there hasn't been a back-to-back loss. I'm not saying that it's a must-win, but it's a you want to win this game. You want to win every game, but that's what we need to see from the Lightning tonight more than anything. Smooth line changes, be in front of Vasilevsky, and I mean, without Braden Point, on whoever is running center for that line of Stamkos and Kucherov, they just gotta play. And I want to see a little bit more of the Rangers really stood up to the aggressiveness, the aggression of the Tampa Bay Lightning. I want to see a little bit more of Corey Perry, Patrick Maroon
They're not scared.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Well, at the end of that game, too, Reeves put Maroon down on his rear end, or actually his face on the ice, really.
And I'll also say that I did see last night, and I'm not seeing it out of Colorado. I'm seeing the aggression out of Edmonton more than I am out of Colorado. But
is that to their detriment, though?
Ask Caveman.
I don't think so. I mean, they come from their Western Conference division. They're used to playing against games like teams like Calgary, where it's always like a nasty fight. That team can play nasty when they need to be, but they can also score at will when they need to, too. So I think the way Colorado's been playing and the way they've been scoring and whatnot, something that maybe they've been trying to throw them off their game is with the physicality. It's like a puncher, a boxer, giving another boxer body blows. Okay, it might not do a whole lot in the first 3 rounds, but that's going to pay dividends come like rounds 9, 10, 11, and 12. Gotcha. And hopefully if this series goes long, Avalanche will be worn down, and that'll help the Edmonton Oilers out late in the series.
So who wins tonight?
I mean, as a Lightning fan, I'm going to say the Tampa Bay Lightning, but honestly, at this point of where we're at in the Eastern Conference Finals, Western Conference Finals, it's for me, just sit back and enjoy the game.
I say they lose their second.
You got Rangers going up 2-0.
I think the Rangers will win this one. Yeah, I think so.
All right, I'm going to say Lightning win just because it's been forever.
I probably jinxed the Rangers by saying that, so you probably get the win.
Well, not just that, but Vasilevsky, like the Lightning are really good bouncing back from losses, but Vasilevsky's incredible at bouncing back from losses. So I think that he's really going to be in the right headspace today, and we'll see how it goes, man. But 7 o'clock tonight on ESPN. Hey, ESPN's coverage has gotten great at hockey. It has gotten better from the beginning of the year to where they're at now. I'm loving the camera angles that they've got.
I like when they start showing the face-offs.
Yes.
That down at the ice level.
Dude.
That is, it's like reminiscent of playing some video games and stuff. That is super cool. I love that.
I love what ESPN's got going on. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we get back, we're going to be picking games from the weekend.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's what's happening.
We are proud to partner with the Panama City Beach Chamber for the 2nd annual Jam on the Coast 5K presented by Visit Panama City Beach. Saturday, June 4th, Frank Brown Park with an epic after party at Texas Roadhouse with free food and beer. And all 5K runners will receive a commemorative shirt and all finishers will receive a medal. For more details and to register, race over to PCB5K.com.
Hear that? That's the plumpest, juiciest hot dogs you've ever seen getting their grill on. But we both know what'll make it sound even better. Oh yeah, it's a Pepsi to go with your hot dog. Because when you're chomping on America's favorite meal, relish, mustard, and onions perfectly blending into a crescendo of flavor, there's only one thing that makes everything about that moment better. A cold, refreshing Pepsi. See what I mean? It's like music to my ears. Hot dogs. Better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The newest and most authentic Mexican restaurant on Panama City Beach, El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, 1136 Thomas Drive across from the Navy base. Not only do they have a great location and atmosphere, but they also have happy hour from 3 to 7. Buy one, get one free, regular margaritas and 12-ounce house drafts. And you're going to love their lunch specials Monday through Friday from 11 to 3. Plus, live music on Wednesdays and Saturdays from 5:30 until 9. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, Thomas Drive, across from the Navy base.
Shocking news in the world of heavy metal. One of the hardest bands on the planet is about to release a children's record. Songs slated to appear on the album include A Tisket a Tasket, Hey Diddle Diddle, and The Hokey Pokey. Let's listen to a sneak preview. Here's Ring Around the Rosie performed by the one and only...
Please deposit 25 cents for the next 3 minutes.
Radio. You shouldn't have to pay for it. This message brought to you by 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
When you want a big-time sports show, tune in for the Afternoon Underdogs.
I'm going to send you up against the best.
Weekdays from 4 till 6.
Negative Ghost Rider.
Broadcasting from the Rib Crib Radio Room.
The need for speed.
On 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
All right, we got about 5 minutes left in the show today. Big shout out to Blab TV for always keeping us on time. If you don't have the Blab TV, if your TV service provider does not provide the services of Blab TV, then you can get their channel or app on your Fire Stick or Roku device, and they've got great content, man.
And check us out in crisp HD.
Yeah, you can see us in HD, and when J-Mac's here, like, we'll show comments up on the screen and stuff. I don't know how he works his witchcraft or whatever, you know, but he makes stuff happen, and appreciative of all the help that I get. Boston Tim, Kyle Wright, AG, Caveman Rick, J-Mac, all the help, Bone Crusher, and all the help that we get around here, and all the guests that come on. Brad Johnson next Friday. That's going to be a big one. Not really supposed to wait a couple days to start promoting it, but Monday with Tim Peel, that's going to be a lot of fun. Let's pick our games here. We've only got 4 minutes, so we're going to have to be quick. Pick our games for this weekend. Friday, Tampa Bay Lightning, New York Rangers, AG.
Give me Tampa Bay. I like what you said about them not winning or not losing 2 in a row.
Caveman?
Like I said, I got them losing 2 in a row for the first time.
All right, I'm going with the Lightning. Let's go to Saturday's Game 3. Can Edmonton get it done in Alberta? Game and Rick.
I hope they get some home cooking and hope they do. I'm picking Edmonton.
I'm going to stay with Colorado. They're hot right now.
All right. So I'm right there with AG, man. I think what's going to happen, Colorado's going to end up sweeping or Game 5ing the Edmonton Oilers, and then they're going to have rust going into whoever they faced out of the ECF in the final. Let's go to Boston Golden State Warriors, Game 2, Sunday evening, 7 o'clock in Chase Center, not the Oracle Arena. Oracle Arena sounds so much better than the Chase Center, but is what it is. Boston Golden State, what you got?
Boston suffers a gunshot wound, GSW.
All right, GSW. I'm going with the Golden State Warriors as well on this one. AG, does the jersey say it all?
Yeah, I think Celtics win it because I think that fourth quarter lingers with Golden State on Sunday.
Let's talk a little Sunday night baseball. The NL Central is a lot more up for grabs than people would like to believe. You, as a Reds fan, absolutely know that. Sunday night baseball is the St. Louis Cardinals at the Chicago Cubs. I don't have the pitching matchup here, but who you got in that one? AG started off.
Can they both lose?
Yeah, oh yeah, you're an NL Central guy, so as a Reds
give
fan.
me the Cubs. I hate them less than I do the Cardinals.
All right.
Iceland and St. Louis, I'll take the Cards.
Give me the Cubs being at the house, kind of getting a deserving win on Sunday Night Baseball. Let's get into the Women's College World Series. Only about 2 minutes left in the show here. Tonight at 6 p.m. our time, UCLA and Northwestern. I'm going UCLA here.
Yeah, same with me, UCLA.
Give me Northwestern.
All right, so AG and then K. Rick and David. Oregon State and Arizona. Man, what a game Oklahoma State and Arizona had last night. Oklahoma State just kind of waited till the very last innings and then hit a nice, what was it, 2-3 run. It was a 3-run shot to go up, I believe, 4-2 at the time in the top of the 7th. So Oregon State now, Arizona. I'm going Oregon State. I'm going with the Beavs.
Yeah, I'll take the Beavers too.
Give me Arizona on that one.
All right. Texas, Oklahoma. This is not the Red River rivalry shootout. This is softball, but it's still huge here. Texas, Oklahoma. Who you got?
I'm taking Oklahoma and that slugger they got. What's her name?
Jocelyn Allo.
Allo, yeah.
Whoa, that girl is something serious. Who you got?
I'm taking Oklahoma as well.
Oklahoma as well. Let me go off on the limb here. Let me take Texas and see if it works out. I mean, what do I got to lose? Old school would be proud. Old school would be. Let's not even talk about that right now. And then Florida, who had a huge win, is taking on the winner of that Oklahoma State-Arizona game, Oklahoma State. So Florida versus Oklahoma State. This is actually going to be Saturday at 6 p.m. on ESPN. Who you got?
Where do we live?
Hey,
he stole my line.
For old school, though.
Yeah,
Come on,
he stole my line.
Where do
Florida.
you live? Where do you live? That's the answer, man. What a fun time, as always, it is on Friday. Good to have, the full crew here on Friday. AG, Caveman Rick, I'm David Hayes. We're the Afternoon Underdogs. We're going to be back next Friday, probably have the addition of Barrett Townsend. We're going to talk some James Dolan. We're going to talk some big bad Brad Johnson. I mean, it's going to be
Can we get Barrett to stop salivating long enough while he's talking to Brad?
I don't think that's a possibility. FSU and a Buck fan.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Dude's going to be in hog heaven. I love it, man. We're out for the day. You guys have a blessed weekend. We'll be back Monday at 4. Coach James Hale live at 7 a.m. Monday.
ESPN Northwest Florida.